Good evening. This is Open Topics with Don Armando. Now, I am your host, Don Armando. So, we're just going to have an open topic about anything and everything today. So, I'm just waiting for a couple of guests to show up and we could start talking. that we have one viewer, send them likes up. All we have is positive vibes. Yo, what's good, all city? All y'all to now I'm chilling for tonight, trying to get my likes up and everything. Also, I'm trying to actually like it. So right now, I actually put the subscribers mode, so therefore anybody that wants to actually support. Oh, yeah. Well, tonight I'm actually having like a topic stuff that actually affects the Dominican community. How you doing? I'm actually trying to make Right. Yo, I couldn't actually hit you. Actually came to New York without, and I was actually shot.
Good evening, Don Armando. I guess there's some music playing in his background, which is why we don't hear anything, or maybe there's some audio problems.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So how are you doing
All
tonight?
right, I hear you.
Okay.
How's everything?
Oh, fine. I'm just getting ready for another night of overtime work.
I mean, I at least I could actually save up
Mm-hmm.
or something for when I do go to. What's your take on radical new findings about looks like they spice up on his channel?
You know what? I just got a chance to look at it quickly. I'll have to look at it further. But the fact that Tarek Rashid is not what he claims to be, I hate to say this, but that's not so. That's not a big surprise.
Actually falling apart scene by scene every day. And it doesn't really cease to amaze me.
Hmm. What I find odd is he's in the middle of a speech or what have you, and then you hear about all this stuff. It just proves to you that everybody that he's nothing but a fraud. All this talk about creating a museum for his community, and that he's fighting to get reparations for African Americans. All of it is just bull, bull, bull.
Yeah.
You seem to be having some
And it's
technical
like,
difficulties on your end.
yeah, well, I came back. So, I'm actually now on my phone. So for some
Hmm.
reason, it's like, I guess I might have to go to a different area or something like that if I'm going to do the stream or whatever. And maybe I'm not too sure. I might do a stream whenever I go to the Dominican Republic.
Okay. Um,
Yeah,
of course, depending where in the DR you're gonna be. Like if you're in the mountains, sometimes it could be hard to get a good Wi-Fi signal.
oh yeah. I don't think I'll be anywhere near the mountains because I'm mostly going to be in the east and maybe the capital.
Okay. So so basically we'll just shooting the breeze, so to speak, tonight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to see. I'm trying to see if I make like maybe 4 streams this week, like back to back to back, and see how it turns out. So
Hmm.
I just know that I have to put out more content, if anything,
Well,
and see how it
sometimes
pans
it's
out.
just a matter of timing. Sometimes it's just a matter of
Yeah,
timing because as far as when you go on the air, timing as far as what is the topics to be discussed.
exactly. I mean, it's like, okay, for example, right? I talked to to this like this guy has another Discord, right? And he goes by
Yeah.
Sergio Quan. So I actually tried to talk to some of the people who actually follow him out to like the from the West Coast and everything like that, and they're actually seeing that they're supportive. I mean, they're actually supportive on Discord, and I would like to actually get a lot of people's stories that we don't know about. Because at the end of the day, certain people they want to promote ignorance or anything like that. I just want to promote what is facts and how to try to prevent
certain people for making bad decisions. That's what my whole goal is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sound.
Just like how you do with some of your insightful chats or streams that you have.
Well, you see see the problem when it comes to like my type of content. I mean, it doesn't always attract people to hop on. Some people would consider me boring, and some people would prefer to be on streams where there's a lot of yelling, screaming, cursing, carrying
Yeah, I mean, me personally, for some reason, I'm
and
yeah, like for me, I just think that that's just tacky at the end because if you're gonna have a whole bunch of people screaming and yelling and everything like that, I actually think that that genre or that way of just having the show, whatever, I think it's just tacky in the long run because if you actually look
yeah,
at if you're gonna base your streams off of that, this is just my opinion. You could your streams you're not gonna actually branch out to anything different if your stream is just about people just cursing and yelling and disrespecting each other. But
hmm
then that's my view of things.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think what it is that people like to see drama. People like to see tragedy. That's why whenever there's a car accident, you see people stopping for miles along the way just to see what's happened. You know, who was the unfortunate victim that got injured or killed or what have you.
Right.
And like I said before, everyone is free to run their channels as they see fit. That's not how I choose to run my channel.
Right.
But you know
And
what?
it's like
Go ahead.
and and it's like with me, even though that I've had like a well, let's just say a discourse with one person that which is fun. This is one thing that I could actually say which is funny. It's bad enough that certain people could actually say that I'm a fake or whatever, right? But my thing is that if I'm so fake, right? Why is it that now, like excluding attacking me for whatever, right? But now it's to the point that a person is just actually is now saying that my wife is Egyptian.
Oh, what's up? Hi, ¿cómo están ustedes? Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, Zacharias. How you doing? When me and my wife, we were just talking about it, like before we actually went on our anniversary. Um, dinner. When we went out to eat for our anniversary, me and her was just started laughing because she was like, "Wow, where did this person where did this person gets that I'm Egyptian? I'm not any way or shape or form Egyptian." I was like, "I know, right?" And we just laughed it off. So my thing is that when it I don't know what it is, but I can't really judge a person skin deep. You get what I'm trying to say? Like for example, a person will be so quick to actually say what you're not, when the fact is you know what you are. So with that said, that's just
Mm-hmm.
comedy in its finest, and also with Tariq Nasheed and certain developments that actually coming up about him. It's just actually interesting on how all his this supposed movement is actually falling apart. Zacharias, what's your take on it? You're you hear
He might have some
Zacharias?
audio difficulties.
Right. I mean, I guess it happens.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So this is the thing. Um, in your line of work, when do you see that this I don't know if you should call this a crisis or not, but when do you see that this this migration is going to be slowed down or will not be rampant? What's your take on this? I mean, the migration of anybody
Well,
coming from overseas, I mean.
okay. Okay. Now I can understand and I can appreciate the fact people wanted to have a better life for whatever reason. My thing, it should be done correctly and legally. Now, the issue I have when it comes to these asylum seekers or refugees or whatever people want to call them, okay? When one city is receiving the entire influx of these individuals, it does put a strain regarding resources and personnel. Because right now we have taken close to 50,000 of these people, of which right now we came for about 30,000. That means housing them, feeding them, making sure that their kids go to school, making sure that they get whatever social services that it's deemed that are eligible for. Okay, this on top of the fact that we have thousands of New Yorkers who currently don't have a place to sleep, okay, who are living in shelters, or what they're doing is they're living like a large number of people in a one bedroom or two-bedroom apartment. Plus, we have municipal employees living in shelters. Now, with all that, we have more than enough issues to deal with. And I find it disgusting that some of these other cities in New York State do not take in these people.
Yeah. I mean, like, for example, right? I was just watching a documentary about Hong Kong, of course. Now, they say
Mhm.
next to New York City and San Francisco that Hong Kong is actually the most expensive place to live. And if you think that people living
Mhm.
in one bedrooms or studios is bad, try the people who are actually living in cages and stuff just to get by in Hong Kong, the most expensive city, I guess, in Asia as at this point. So, since I
Yeah.
guess what we could call New York City having a humanitarian crisis and Hong Kong as well, it's I don't know what's going to be in New York because everybody's saying that rent is good or whatever, but in the same token, I just see that other democratic cities, whether it be New York City or whatever have you, I don't see I I might see a future, I might not see a future, depending on the work ethics on the new arrivals. look like that we have a guy by the name of Carlos Tomas McIntyre. Welcome to this chat.
Mm-hmm. Uh, you may want to. Oh, okay. Um, Look, as I stated before, I mean, there's nothing wrong with helping those in need. However, you cannot ignore your own citizenry because they are your consent as well.
Yeah. And I'm just reading the news and everything like that. I don't know if you listen to rock or anything like that, but RIP to Gary Rossington, the guitarist and founding member of
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Skinner. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct. Don't crucify me, people. Oh, yeah. So, with that said, it looks like that a lot of things are happening. But for me, this is one thing I don't understand. And I do not understand this for the life of me. Out of all the royal people, England is not really the first royal family ever. But yet in America, they have all a lot of they have a lot of people who who they just actually subscribe to the royal family nonsense of how I call it. I don't see anybody talking about maybe Luxembourg or all these other places, but every or Spain, for example. I mean the Spanish royal crown. But most of the time, when it comes to the Americas, we always hear about the UK royal family. Why do you think it's that, Don Jose and Zacharias?
I can, oh, Jose, you want to go?
You know what, Zach, you haven't had much of an opportunity to speak, so I'm going to pass the mic to you as a courtesy.
Gracias, señor. Okay. I can speak on this since I have the English bloodline as well. Again, it's just the reason I hear about the royal country, the royal UK, because remember Revolutionary War. Actually, yesterday was the day that the first soldier who black and Native American, Crispin Attucks, who's biracial, was killed. Um, so that's why we have so much attention um about the UK because we one time was owned by the UK. Just like if like in Mexico and Puerto Rico.
Right.
Right. So that's why we hear about the royal family. Plus Meghan Markle, she's American. And I found out Meghan, rumor has she one of Epstein girls. Let me stop.
All right. Well, it seems that there's a lot of there's a lot of how should I say scandals that's been leaked out. I guess a teacher or something like that, which I've been reading on Twitter. And it looks like that a guy, I don't know if you would consider him uh mixed or light skin, whatever. He's been pandering to a lot of women. It turns out that he's actually on that perverted list. So With that said,
Ooh,
it looks like that certain people are going to be unraveled. I forgot his name, but it's like I don't know if he's a popular YouTuber or anything like that, and he's actually from your area, I believe.
that Andrew dude.
Andrew, I don't know if it's Andrew. I'll have to check. Um, I have to check on Twitter. Just 1 second. And big shout out to Atlan Warrior. Let me see. Okay. It seems that a guy who calls himself I am 4 hour 5 um is on that perverted list. And it seems that that this guy that was on the chat saying that he is a right wing racist extremist that is friends with some jerks that I know, or
And
jerks that I've actually interacted with.
yeah, when me and that jerk from Cleveland, the first person
Right,
trolls, and him and his sister Jennifer and Jessica used to make a lot of anti-black content on the part Black American Mixed Dudes channel from Cleveland, the first person that Roy mentioned. Well,
right.
now they were celebrating. Yes, it's weird as
To
dude's
me,
part.
to me, to me, is this, and I've seen certain people in that channels. These guys, they have the nerve to go and call other people beta males or anything like that, but they do beta male stuff on TikTok and YouTube. Like, for example, if a guy, this is one thing I don't understand. How can you call yourself a conqueror when the fact is you were never part of the family?
But is this so he's conquering Washington Heights?
I don't even think they even know him in Washington Heights, to tell you to be honest. I mean, think about it. Most of the people that I know who are somebody that they actually have their own podcasts and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guys are not talked about. Let's be honest. Like nobody nobody really cares. Like for example, on Clubhouse, they call this guy an idiot all the time. And on TikTok, as you know, we saw that video on a Christian sister that actually and politely dissed that person.
Yeah, I like her.
My thing is this.
Hello.
If this person is so much of a free, is so much of a freedom fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why the heck why the heck you going after other Dominicans that share a different view of you or different views from you?
Well, like I said before, ever since the COVID hit, the toxic people has been on YouTube. I missed YouTube, but the last CEO allowed, I agree to let these idiots to violate the codes and violate the rules on YouTube. And certain people she didn't like personally, she let them get their channels taken out, even do like she did to me. So that's why this dude is on YouTube. It's like have friends, but I know it's on TikTok and other apps. There's no friends of the Washington Heights Conqueror. La Reina, okay, feminina, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
me personally, it does. If you one thing I don't understand, right? Conquerors is supposed to have money, right? And I'm just saying, like the neighborhood in Washington Heights, maybe I might be wrong. Maybe somebody could prove me wrong or whatever. But the last time I
right,
checked, nobody has a house out there. Everybody's apartments, and if anything, I would say a condo. But as far as people say, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, and then this guy says that he's the self-appointed Dominican card revoker. Okay, you not. My thing is this. That's like a that's like if a person say, "Hey, I'm going to take your black card." Why? Because you like country music or something like that. You be looking at that person like, okay, so what's your goal in revoking people's Dominican cards? Like, what's the end goal? Like, my thing is that this guy panders to racists,
mm-hmm.
and he says, "Yeah, I'm a Republican." I'm like, okay, I know people who are Republican too, and they say their views or whatever, but they're actually more cooler than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's 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 be honest. If people are liberal, there was once upon a time if people were liberal or they were Republican, yeah, you had different politics, but guess what? We all got along.
We sure
Not
did.
now though, but guess what? Certain people confuse their party lines as what is right and what is wrong. But the thing is, though, I was actually listening to a guy by the name of Nomad Capitalist. Shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
He actually was saying to people who want to be capitalist or you know business owners, etc. They were saying that yep, that those days are over or something as far as political parties and everything like that because certain people they want to join political parties because of I guess success or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really look at it, these political parties don't really care about your success.
Shut out.
They
Both.
don't care. They Democrat or Republican.
I know. It's
They
hard.
just care,
Yep.
they just care about how much money you're going to put into their campaign. Let's be honest.
It's for the AS. Particularly here in Harris County.
Mhm.
And now go Real. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. They all, I think that there's a cult supporters.
Yeah.
And they're paid just like Diamond and Silk come on YouTube and put a lot of drama. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have this when Trump was running. You saw that, but it got worse when he became president. When he lost in 2021, you see the result
Yeah.
He got paid, even though she seemed to be a white liberal woman, not all that right, but she probably got paid on the table.
Yeah. And I don't know. They say that a website is actually to blame for what happened on January 6th, of course. Of course, I'm not going to say the website or what have you because I might be shadow banned. But we all know what we're talking about.
The Q word.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't. It's not just that they let white people get away, and I'm not being anti-white. We all got cream in our coffee. Get away with so much crime, and I was so happy. I was on the street, and I remember this before I got my apartment. I was laughing when I saw the videos. I say, I like ratchet stuff, like World Star Hip Hop. So I was laughing them acting a fool. I said, well, that's what y'all been doing. Y'all let white people get away with a lot of stuff. If we came out there and do it, oh, we been dead. Pop. We coming
exactly.
pop. They just one shot, pop. The brother, the bright skinned brother that was running from the white, he probably shot, act like them five thug cops in Memphis, beat us up too. You know what I'm saying? But no, when the white folks came in there, he acted like a little slave and ran. So that's why I'm glad to see that, because we've been telling people, and no, you're thinking like a victim. No, they let white people who act thuggish and hood red-ish, or should I say, chimp out. They let them do that and get away with it. We act
All
a
right,
fool,
all right. But I have a theory about racist, right? And
right?
this does not pertain to any one group. But we're just talking about the major races. You know, the ones that actually have their groups and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why is it? And I'm talking about Trump supporters, and I'm talking about the Trump supporters who are ignorant. You know what I'm saying? The ones that have like a third grade education,
Especially Appalachian Mountain areas where they got on welfare.
and
Yeah.
and some of those guys too.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that they do not like people of color, and they say that they're better than us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that their teeth is always messed up when they're on camera?
I can tell you that because remember,
I mean, is moonshine that strong?
let me explain. Cause remember, I told you, I'm on my father mama's side. I'm related to Nathea Bacon. Remember, I told you about that. The Bacon.
Right.
Okay. The Bacon Rebellion, and this is. I'm glad when I was learning about my white ancestors. Learn all my, but I learned that one about back in 16. The Bacon Rebellion, okay, was about race and class. That's why they had the anti-miscegenation laws, okay, the mixing laws, because the white Indian servers and the black slaves mixed ones came together and fought against the white elite who was slaving black slaves, right? And the white folks got offended who had money. So what they did, they made the poor whites who were indentured servants become the slave patrol and told them, yeah, you might look like me, you piece of white, T word, okay, but you're better than those N words. That's why you have white people who are poor, not all. When you have an African person or even Latino making more money, they're the first one to get jealous. And they're ready to help somebody to tear you down and win. Like, for example, Eminem. So that's what I'm saying. That's why. So that's the reason why you have white
Shout
people.
out to you, Hebrew Lion. How you doing?
That's why you have white people, because remember, they're gonna show them on TV, and the white folks who don't have, who on Section 8 or public housing or either food stamps, welfare, or either trailer park, see more of them on TV with money and success, and people of color being hood, thug, bio, ghetto, cholo, whatever you want to call it, hood, all that. Okay, that's what they do. That's the social engineering of the United States. So that's why you have that problem.
Yeah, I had to mute up because there was music blasting. So you know. Still not trying to get that CR strike.
I hope the new CEO get rid of that.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be how should I say? It's not going to be getting rid away because if you actually look at it, the reason why that I think is not going to get away because a lot of these record companies are making a killing suing regular folk like us or getting our stuff shut down and stuff. They live off of that. So let's just wait and see.
Hold on, but the other YouTuber don't get his channel taken down.
Right.
The Afro Latino Dominican dude, the one that get ratchet on,
I mean, it's not even nothing. Well, it's like I'm just gonna say this. There's been certain things that I've seen that if you actually play a certain thing, they might be blocked in certain countries.
right. They did it to me
Yeah.
when I did a Chris Brown, we got shooting. When he was shooting in San Diego, you gonna laugh. When I was on YouTube, I did so I'm in my room, so I did a story. So I played these and lawyer song in my skit on my YouTube back in 2015. I forget, and it told me I had a copyright straight. Like they played the video, but it was blocked in other countries. Because he was performing that song in San Diego when he was shooting it. And so I was doing a dramatization, you know what I'm saying? And I was on YouTube back in the day. I forget them. I missed some days. From 2015. People said I was a funny person on there. Yep. So yeah, I didn't get a copyright straight because I got copyright straight, but it was tell you that like I tell that I'm not trying to make money off it because you have to when they give you a copyright straight, you have to go and reply back to YouTube and say, I'm not trying to make money off this video. You know what I'm saying? And they'll let it go. That's how they do it. So when it comes, but when I did the Mariah Carey, and there was somebody had took Mariah Carey's documentary from Europe and put it on YouTube. Mind you, I did live stream right after that R. Kelly situation, 2019. I did not use any content from that person's documentary. I made a commentary about it, right? And how I felt about how the things is missing in that documentary that it was in UK. Did you know this peanut butter, whatever his name is in UK, contacted YouTube trying to get me copyright straight? And I told you to straight up, I said I didn't use none of his content. I made a commentary about it. And then they told me I can't use live stream until I have it's before they had StreetYard. It's when they had the webcam live stream, whatever they call it. They said until you have 1,000 subscribers. And that was a restriction that they gave me back in 2019. So yeah, so if you're using content, you have to like disclose it's for educational purposes, or way how they do it is that. But the other YouTuber that's Dominican and Afro Latino, he play music and gets paid, the Cash App, and they don't shut his channel down.
But the thing is, now actually, talking about that, I think somebody reported him or something, so he couldn't actually use his channel for a week, from what I heard. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I might be paraphrasing, but that's from what I heard. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Got you. Well, with that said,
You saw what I said?
got you.
Yeah, I didn't do the proper paperwork, but I did because the trophy.
I mean, if you actually look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna go and say anything wrong about Fighter because as you know, me and Fighter, we have family links. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, not for real though. Meaning that I know his cousins and everything.
No, I know that. I'm laughing about the when you said it. I wasn't laughing as that you wasn't true. I know y'all have a family back home in DR.
Right.
Yeah, so you
So
can't keep
so
peace.
so since me and fighters families come from the same town in DR, I actually give him like certain parts of respect. It's just the other people who's in his panel I do not give respect to. For example, uh
Diabolique.
yes. I mean like I told you that I told you from there that person went up and called my wife an Egyptian.
She been watching the other Cleveland mixed brother, not Cleveland, other Ohio brothers channel. Not the Cleveland, the Columbus, Ohio, or Cincinnati, where he ever from, the one who's part Egyptian. They say
I'm like, okay, out of anything, right? I take pictures and I show what I'm doing or whatever. How is it? How did this person come up with the idea of saying, like, when me and this person had a Discord, right?
mm-hmm.
This person had the nerve to say, "Oh, you must be eating hummus because she looks like she's from the Middle East or something like that." I know my people. No, you don't. And if that person did, they'll know that that people come in all shades and colors.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I never seen a person that did not show their picture or anything like that be so proud of being hairy. So with that, I just
Oh, I know why they hairy.
and they'll be like, oh, they say that they're hairy and all this stuff. And they say
No,
that a Latina woman is supposed to be hairy. Okay, to each its own. But at the end of the day, don't try to say this in modern day because certain people will laugh at you. I'm just telling you.
that's her ritual. No, because I knew a girl. She wasn't evil. Like she was a sameness, and she was mixed. She was part her mom Mexican and white. Her dad was white. I was shocked. Her dad was like a clan sympathizer. There's like, do you know the Mexicans? The clan don't like Mexicans. Anyway, so my hunger at Job Corps, she was a Satanist. They had to make her take a bath because in her coven they don't believe in taking baths until the full moon. So that's why the Diabolique is hairy. She's not shaving. She's probably not taking baths. Her rituals in her coven is telling her not to do that. So that's why I know, because my homegirl at Job Corps, I hope she's doing okay. I didn't know she was like that. I knew she was weird, but when she told me when she was dating my other homeboy, who's part, he looked Mexican. He like Prince. He part African American, part Mexican, and everybody think he just curly hair, but he part African American. When they was dating in Job 2004, I said, y'all say yeah. I said what, but they didn't bother me, so they was nice. Like they wasn't the one trying to do some evil, mean psychopath. Okay, so I never get when she wore that black medieval dress and she worked at the front office, and I disagree with what's it called, the director, the principal of job. She cool white lady, but she didn't have to fire her. She saw her with the medieval dress on and got rid of her. Like, come on, it's like discrimination, even though so, but one time I hugged this girl, and it was on the weekend, and she had smelly arms. Until someone told me, said, "Yeah, so and so don't take." Well, the sister that was her RA, we call her Mama. She don't know him. She was kind of mean too sometimes. Mama made her take a bath because she didn't want to take a bath because in her coven they don't take baths to have full moon. And yes, she used to go to Las Cruces, which is outside El Paso in New Mexico, right? If you've been in that area, and they be have these witches, and then one of my Mexican friend told from Dallas. Then she went to America's high school. Okay, now remember she born in the 80s, right? So I'm born 79. So I was already out of high school, right? So I didn't go to Jocko 2004, 5, and 6. She was in 2003 and 4, and she left 2005. So she was in when 9/11 happened. Everyone's mourning, right? My hunger, who's part Panamanian, we had a lot of mixed people, part Panamanian, part white chick. She fine too. She told she said so and so, the witch, the one who part white, part Mexican. She had a party at 9/11, right after it happened. Like everybody mourning. You know what I'm saying? And this is when she had graduated. So she graduated 2004, not 2005. She had graduated, right? So we had a graduate. She said, yeah, she said, yeah, at America's High School in El Paso, she had a party while we were all mourning about the death of 9/11. Yes, sir. So that's how I know Diabolique probably don't take a bath because certain witches don't believe, or warlocks do not believe in taking baths into a full moon. And when they told me that, yeah, this gay brother that was used to be, he came later on. He told me the same thing. He said, "Yeah, I know her. She don't take no bath." And they said doing choir, they had choir right at America's High School. And when it comes to religious music, I can't sing that music. Yep. So that's how I know Diabolique is similar to her because she ain't shaving. Yeah, and most women shave. I mean, not every. There are Christians. Certain Christians have changed to twist the Bible who don't believe a woman should not shave her legs. You know what I'm saying, but it's not a Christian. It's Diabolita, okay? And Diabolita, who Dominicana, do not take no probably don't shave and all that other stuff because her covenant is telling her not to do that until I guess a full moon come in.
I never really thought about that. But thanks for the insight, Zacharias, because a lot of people from what I've seen, they actually try to dismiss you, but you actually know your stuff.
Yeah.
But not for nothing, I want to let Don Jose speak.
All right.
I think okay. This is my observation when it comes to Zacharias. Okay, this is not meant to be anything other than an observation. They pay attention in the manner that he speaks and the way that it expresses himself, which leads the people to automatically dismiss him as being an idiot or a fool. Um, so therefore, it's very important to be, what who you judge, because you could be judged in the same fashion. Um, I know that that individual take issue with him claiming to be mixed and claiming to be whatever. As far as I'm concerned, my viewpoint, whether who is his identity, does not matter, and I simply choose to respect what he states he is himself.
Gracias, señor.
All right,
No, it's okay.
and I was just saying, like, as far as as what he was saying about certain people and their beliefs. Have as a fellow Christian, have you encountered certain people with those beliefs in your lifetime living in New York?
Um, when you live in any large city, whether it be New York, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, or whatever, you're going to encounter all sorts of people, and you have certain individuals who claim to be Christian, but their conduct illustrates something else. Generally, I don't wish to make judgments on people. I might make like evaluations based on words and actions. I don't like to base it on feelings because feelings can be deceiving. I prefer to deal with the facts. Okay. And the facts are I have dealt with all different types of people who claim to be one thing or another, only to prove that it's not true.
I saw that too. I'm sorry to say this, Don Armando. Chingao. I was like, I didn't mean to disrespect it. The customer in Spanish. But yeah, look. Yeah, I said it in Spanish, but yeah, I had to laugh. The even I'm not Chicano, but I'm Spanish crew down a family tree. It came out being in Texas. Okay, you know how they say it. I saw the comment. I still laughing about that. Lord have mercy. Oh, Dios mío. Okay, but yeah, but no, about the no, I think to the Senor Negron, in my head, correct me, Don Armando, was you asking like certain belief, not those who claim to be Christian, you talking about those who in that dark world, right? Like the other person we're talking about?
Right.
Yeah, not those who Christian and contradict themselves. I mean, I ain't the perfect one. I let you argue, I ain't the perfect one. But you know, the no judge me. I already let people know that. But the truth of the matter is talking about those who enter the dark world. Brujas and brujos. And I'm sure in New York you got a lot of santeros and santeras. Voodoo and people who believe in voodoo. And yes, you got Santa Muerte because it's a YouTube. You probably seen Don Armando where the it was a drag queen, but it was mixture of straight, gay, and bi. Mostly a Mexican descent in New York. They had a celebration for Santa Muerte. Yes,
Yeah, because it was like one day me and my wife, we was at a Mexican restaurant. This was like a few years back, and we always had a curiosity on why a certain set of people always in their art or literature, or whatever the case may be, they always had a skull or something like that.
Right. I'm not Mexican, but I know why. Okay, so you know the Day of the Dead. When the Spaniards came to Mexico and Catholic Christianized the natives honor the dead. Okay, honor. Okay, so they Christianized honor that, like you know, your dead family members, and they have a skull. You know what I'm saying? Bones of somebody of your family member. Okay, so that's why you see that day of the day. Like for example, when at like All Souls Day, at the Halloween All Souls Days, All Saints Day, they start painting the face, you know, in skull, like you know, to honor that. Okay, but Santa Muerte is different. Santa Muerte, I think that people thought it was African religion because you know, African same with Mexico too. Santa Muerte is one of the Aztec goddess. It's a mockery of the Virgin Mary. Okay. And a lot of cartel, a lot of thugs, prostitutes, and not just those in lower class, you got people in the higher class who are the fresas, who some of them are involved in Santa Muerte. But you mostly see that in the cartel because a lot of those people who were locked up in prison, who are thugs, they felt the church, you know, mostly Catholic, but even Protestant, mostly the Catholic ones rejected them. And they felt that because they had no love in the church, they turned to the occult figures like Jesus Bavare. That's another one. Okay,
That'll be Malverde, right?
Yeah, that's a false. That's not part of our Catholic faith, and so is Santa Muerte. It's not. Santa Muerte is demonic. Even the Pope have called that out many times. Pope Francis and Pope Benedict. Okay, when he went to Mexico, they saw this going on. That's why. And when people say, remember, you know, has talked about Jeffrey Dahmer in that book Program to Kill, talks about how he summoned those demons before he started doing his stuff. He did it back in 79 when I was born. Okay, well, those cartels, they worship they worship Santa Muerte, and they also do sacrifices. So all those folks that's cutting folks' heads off, that's where they're coming from. The demonic spirit energy from Santa Muerte is getting inside their spirit, and they're doing all these evil acts. But Santa Muerte is not only just in Mexico. You have those in what's it called, El Salvador. Remember that in New York they found that Latino woman. She's part of MS-13. Because she was in here in Houston too. She was in Houston. She found her way up to New York because she cuts her in southwest side of Houston. Her gang kidnapped somebody, got the machete, and decapitated. And so Harris County was looking for her. Somehow she ended up in New York because MS-13 is in New York. Y'all have Salvadorans in New York too, because I know some Salvadorans in New from
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So she found her way from New York to Houston, Texas to New York. And I thought when they said machetes, I thought it was Trinidadios, because we do have Dominicans in here in Houston. And like I said, in Texas we have a gun, we have guns. Who uses machetes? I understand in New York they have machete because of gun laws. You know what I'm saying? It's very strict. You know what I'm saying? But in Texas, we very relaxed with our gun laws here. So who using doggone machetes? So until I found out it was the MS-13 folks, and they decapitated somebody. But if you research, some of them are involved in Santa Muerte, because it's not only in Mexico, they're also transcending. I even saw on YouTube a Creole brother who do voodoo. He in New Orleans or somewhere in Louisiana. This brother who's Adolph's Creole, he does Santa Muerte too. It's a sister. It's some sister I saw Adolph's sister. They get involved, and some white folks involved in Santa Muerte. So Santa Muerte is not only in the Latino community. In mostly Mexican, it's other Latinos who are not Mexican, and you also have people who are ADOS and white people involved in this setup. So it's getting big. Oh Lord, he said proud pagan. Okay, I'm sorry to offend you. No offense. I know that you're from California. No offense. I don't want you to get mad. Okay, I do apologize, but that stuff is demonic. That stuff is demonic. I'm sorry, Aztec Warrior. I do apologize. I don't want to offend you, okay? Because we have respect. Okay. Speaking of that, that's why a lot of gang members kill, a lot of murders go on in California. Yeah. When I was reading one of the books about the you from Dayton, Ohio. What's up with y'all Ohio people? But you got family in California, right? I know it's Mexicans and Puerto Ricans in Ohio, because I met those from Ohio. I say, Warrior, are you got family in Cali?
Uh,
I said, Warrior.
we don't know. Okay, we don't know whether this is this is a person or this is a troll, because trolls do patrol these YouTube streets.
No, I've talked to him before. He's not a troll. So
He's not a troll.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
And
I've talked to him, and then there's a guy by the name of Philly Eagle. He was actually on my stream once because he actually does not stand against
yeah. So I wasn't trying to offend as Lion Warrior. As Lion, I do apologize, but in part to what I believe, no offense, those demon we can't. And I ain't the perfect Catholic Christian. We believe, okay, even with shit, we don't always agree with the Protestants, that this stuff is not good. And I'm an ex warlock. Okay, when I was not Catholic, I was a Protestant, and I got involved in voodoo. Okay, from TV. So because people was picking on me in school, so I did not know that it was bad. I was 9, 10, 11 years old. Okay, and I stopped at 12, but the stuff what happens is those in the church teachings when it comes to scripture and sacred tradition is defined in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, 15 to 14. Okay, before everybody tries to misinterpret that. Okay, when St. Paul said we hold fast to traditions. Okay, so we go about scripture, we go scripture and sacred tradition. Okay, those other gods, only one God, God Jesus Christ. Okay, all right, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the Trinity, one God in three persons. Those other gods, what they do, they bring those demons. We consider them demons. Okay, I'm trying to be respectful because I want to offend you. Okay, and usually when people invoke those demons, they do things they don't do. Okay, so that's why all that murder and stuff, like with Jeffrey Dahmer, with Charles Manson, with Sherry Tate, that was satanic murder. Yes, it was because Jane Sabring, excuse me, was Sam Jr.'s barber. He introduced Sam Jr., who's also part Latino, part Cuban, into the Church of Satan, and that Riggs James was gonna go to that party too, and he got high. He didn't go. But truth of the matter is, when they invoke those demons, I'm sorry, that's what all that killing spirit comes out, and it caused people to invoke those spirits and they commit those acts. It's no different than people who get high, because people, y'all forget that drugs is also sorcery too. The word formica comes from the word
It's actually the word pharmakia.
pharmakia, right? Pharmakia comes from the word pharmacy. So when people get high or drunk, like I try beating on Tina, and he like, I ain't beat her, because he let those spirits from the drugs turn him to it change your mind, and you start acting different compared to other people. So that's why that the drugs, like in sex and violence down in California, all that, and I know the Church of Satan has a lot of people in Hollywood, like that Illuminati stuff. It's real. Um, that's why, like what happened to Sam Smith, the people shot. I wasn't shot with that performance. Like I'm not. So what? Even R. Kelly, he does voodoo. He was urinating them girls. He invoking that evil spirit. He do the sexual demon come out where he don't care about the age. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that people look like what happened at Astroworld. The Kardashians, they involved in that mess too. Travis Scott, he didn't have to use weapons. He used spiritual warfare to kill those folks at that doggone concert. This stuff is real. And like I said, when I lost my apartment due to R. Kelly, they put that voodoo spell on me. Oh, I'm very esoteric. I don't care what anybody say. I warn people. Like, people want to hear me. Like, yeah, I never thought it'd become a dope. So that's what I know. I know Christians are here. We're humans, okay? And I have called. I'm not the perfect Catholic Christian. On my podcast, I call out OJ Rancho, because you don't mix racism, and that's not even Catholic. I understand a Protestant, no offense, probably a Southern Protestant, because the Southern Baptist Church was for slavery and teaching slaves to stay in a place. I understand, but us Catholics, the word Catholic means universal, okay? Because Jesus said, teach all nations in Matthew 28. We want all people of all races to come to his church. So I see that. Yeah, OJ Rancho's sick inside, of course. Yeah, I know that. Okay, and OJ Rancho is not a good Catholic. Neither is the goat. Okay, that listen to y'all. Okay, because race is one thing as Latin, or should I say as Latin? Because Spanish Creole was part of Nueva Spain. Okay, in our Latin, French, Spanish, Portuguese countries, colonies in Americas, that's why you hear the word rape, we didn't. That was an Anglo-Saxon culture. You know what I'm saying? In America, you know, the white folks married black people, okay, and they married people. We didn't, like I was had to agree with Red with that. That's Anglo-Saxon, because the white Anglo-Saxon in the South who distort the Bible saw black people and indigenous people as not human. Well, in the Catholic Church, yeah, there were people who did violate people, but in our faith, that's a sin. We had marriages, okay? And they don't talk about that. We had marriages between white Spaniards and natives and black people, or sometimes they did fornicate or go against what's it called? So that's the reason why that I that's why the Catholic Church was okay with race mixing because we're all children of God. You know what I'm saying? What in the Protestant faith, not all Protestants they have their own interpretation of the Bible, but in the racist South, the white man felt he had a right to interpret about how he want to. He put his own ideas in it and taught black slaves to be the way how he wanted. That's why Harriet Tubman had a hard time getting the slaves out the plantation because they were so psychological. You watch that movie, Don Armando, you saw that movie, Brother Nation, not the old, but I'm talking about the one with Nate Parker about Nat Turner.
Yes.
You remember the white woman told Nat Turner this is for N words. I mean, the books for white folks, not for N-word, the books, the educated books. You don't gonna read the Bible, so they can turn the Bible the way how they want to keep the slaves where they at. Okay, so that's why, like in Creole, Louisiana, the French, black French, Spanish, Creole people don't know. Men them fought the white clan. You know what I'm saying? I hate doing Black History Month. They don't teach us being victors of fighting against white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not ashamed being Creole. Okay, yeah, they had them color is who want to be white, you know, do like another version of Mejor Raza. But no, there were Creoles who did fought the slave man, fought slave.
All right.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off,
Sorry, go
Zachariah.
ahead. I apologize.
But what this guy is actually saying is that I'm just saying he's saying that's why OG Rancho is having a live about the age of consent of
What?
OG. I mean, Fighter is having it live, and Fighter's having a live stream about the age of consent because of OG Rancho, and he said that OG is a pro pred. So this is actually interesting because, and this is what he said, that this guy is a sick man in and out.
I already knew that. I already knew that. Lot of those dudes on OG Rancho's channel are sick. Remember, there was one that put the stuff on my channel. The Colombian dude, the light skinned Latino Colombian dude, Willie. He was the other person besides the goat that put the ping on. Yeah, if you're okay, no Christian, with Protestant or Catholic is perfect, but what is these straight men gonna go to a site for homosexuals and porn and pull out pictures to change? What, huh? And yeah, of course, OJ Rancho is sick. He's very sick. The man's sick. He even had his child on the channel when he was arguing. His son and people was. I never forget when I was on YouTube before my channel got taken down. I was trying to. I was on Fire's channel. That's when Radical Latino cussed out OJ Rancho. I'll forget that too. Back in 2021, and so we was on Fire's channel, right? And this when true teacher them got into it, right, in Dominican restaurant, and this, I don't think it was ratchet that night. They were very ratchet. So OJ Rancho put his son, his little baby son, on the live, smiling. And I think Dion Malik, one of them girls told him in the comments, said, "Why you bring your son into this? He's a baby. Like, he don't even be no grown folk stuff." You know what I'm saying? And that's not a good father. Like, I mean, we all gonna argue, but if I'm arguing with adults where people are cursing and your baby is a toddler, I'm not gonna bring the baby on the live. I'm gonna let Jose Negron speak.
Okay. I'm not gonna stay this much longer because I do have to get ready to leave.
All
But
right,
I
it
just
was
want to
nice
address
that
the
you came.
questions being. Yeah, I just want to address the issue of questions being hypocritical. Okay, first of all, a person can claim to be something and not actually be what that person claims to be. You can tell a person by the way a person conduct oneself and by the fruit, which is basically his action and his deeds. Okay. A person who's a true Christian, you can tell in the way that one engaging others and the way one conducts oneself. The problem, okay, now I don't have an issue with OG De Rancho. I have very limited exchanges with him. I do have, I do sharply disagree with a lot of the stuff that he speaks and confesses, but that is his way of looking things. And I think you cannot base all Christianity based on a few people who claim to be Christian in name but not in thought. So that's all I wish to say. As far as people dealing with the occult and things of that nature, the Bible also talks about what happens to these individuals, okay, in the end. And also, everyone needs to make a choice in their individual lives, whether to do good or evil, okay? If people do end up going and spending eternity separated from God's presence, which other people refer to as hell, it's because of their actions, not because of any misconceptions. Because whenever everything is said and done, we are all at liberty to say or think and act as we okay. With that in mind, I'm just gonna hop out. And before I go, people, I'm gonna ask that if you have not done so, please subscribe to Don Armando's channel, and always, if you can, when you do catch his content, hit the like button as you enter. With that being said, I wish everyone a good night, and please be safe.
Thank you,
Adios.
Don Jose. Now,
Well,
I remember that day too because it was it was funny because they were calling him out. They were saying something about chucha or whatever the case may be. It's not my
Mhm.
language, of course, so I feel funny actually using it or the terminology chucha because that to me not Dominican Spanish at all. But
Mhm.
what is funny about this guy OG Rancher? I mean, from the times that I've seen him or anything like that, I never really talked to him because he sounds like an idiot. I'm just putting it out there.
Can I address why did he think that it's okay for him, a 14-year-old girls to date older men? In California, they have a Romeo Juliet law. That's why besides the warehouse deals and the sex sacrifice for Satan stuff that goes in Hollywood. Okay, in California, they changed the law. They try to make pedophilia legal, but in California, if you're like 13 years old and you have a relationship with an adult, if it's consensual, they don't penalize it. And how I know this because it was on Saturday Just Raphael in New York. A Latino man, he was Mexican American, and his wife was Mexican American. Now, I was a teenager, so I was 13, 14 years old. The white girl was about my age. She's more 1979 or in 1980. And she was the mistress, right? So people in the audience was like, why this man not locked up, for messing with a underage girl? The white woman's mother says in California, she had consensual relationship. I think it's 14 or 13 years old. And I cannot prosecute him because it was consensual. So he's from Cali. It's called a Romeo Juliet law. So that's why, like, even Paul Walker, yes, Paul Walker, it's hard for me to mourn his death, But his girlfriend, he met when she was 13.
Yes, I've on TikTok. They're actually talking about celebrities who are actually convicted predators, and they actually put his or they actually well, I don't know what the case may be or whatever the case is, but I've heard something along those lines. I was like, get out.
Yeah, because California, like, I'm not condoning it, but like, if R. Kelly and Aaliyah was there in California, he probably not even prosecuted. You see what I'm saying? No, he should be with grown women, okay? But in California, it's called Roman. And that's why I see why they're trying to sickly and disgustly try and pass pedophilia as a make it so called a what's it called it you call that thing orientation and trying to make it legal in California because that romance law. That's why all those sexual scandals goes on in Hollywood. Because if they say in California, if you're 13, just what's that? Jackie Chan. Remember his girlfriend, that's girlfriend, his daughter got kicked out the house for being lesbian. You know that her teacher groomed her. The girlfriend, that was her white teacher when she was a teenager. She was in her 30s. Yes, sir. And she groomed Jackie Chan's daughter when she was a teenager. He kicked her out. She was staying with her. And when she became a grown woman, they announced they were girlfriends. Yes, sir. That in California has a weird concept. Ohio. Hold up. Same thing. You're from Ohio, Islam warrior. 16-year-olds can date adults. Because on Jenny Jones, I don't forget that I used to watch them talk shows back in 1990s. One of them bad teenage girls, white girl. She was being this before Cash Beyond. Since I don't forget this mess. White girl, 1996. I was 17, right? Okay, I turned 17 a year. She said that she ran away. She was going with a grown man. And the mama knew the grown man. And Jenny Jones asked why you have not prosecuted the grown man that is with your teenage daughter. And she said in Ohio, it has to be the age of consent is 16. Yeah. So in California, in Ohio, certain states allow this. Like in Texas, it's 17. You see what I'm saying? 17 years old can date, like R. Kelly would say he went with 17 years old. Yeah. And I'm against that too. But people got to realize these laws are allowing these folks to get away. Because I remember a dude, he's Mexican American, family from Juarez, okay? Military, right? We had military people at Job Corps. And the girls who was 17, 16, he was like, well, I'm 20 some years old. You know, it's legal. You're 17. And I'm like, why? And my homegirl, she a light-skinned Mexican American chick. She said, yeah, he was trying to flirt with me, trying to play footsie with me in the table. And he was harassed. I said, this dude 20 some years old. Yeah. He was talking about when I turned 17, he was trying to holler at me. You know, I'm like, what? And 17 is still a minor. I understand 18, but he was in our 20s, but not 17, 16. Like, leave them teenage girls alone. You in the military? Like, you can't find a woman in the military? Like, leave them teenage girl alone. And I don't want to say his name. Me or anyone know me from Job Corps, me and that fat, chubby, like competitive Mexican dude, that's him. He was a military dude. We call him Army dude. That's him. I never forget 2004. And my homegirl told me, she said, yeah, she said he was. I said, wait a minute. You what? They can't find no ground. And I remember dudes in their 20s trying to talk to 17-year-old girls. I'm like, leave that alone. And it was at Job Corps. I'm not lying. We had people actually in El Paso, Texas. There are gang crimes, but El Paso was a safe city, like the 9th safe city at the time. You know, we had gang crime. You know, the biggest crime in El Paso, Don Armando, is sex offender. Because a lot of the teenage girls the Cholo gang members in that area was sexing those girls, and that's how. That's the biggest crime in El Paso
Wow.
back in 2004. Yep,
I
because
remember back in the days when I was growing up in New York,
mm-hmm,
certain young women were actually being that played in certain gangs.
mm-hmm, yep, and like I said,
As
in
a
El
rite of
Paso,
initiation of being in that respective gang or what so. So I do remember that. I don't know if they
yep,
did that in the West Coast, but in the East Coast branch of this gang, I remember women actually saying that they got sexed in.
mm-hmm. And once the El Paso Police Department, county, or police find out the gang members doing it, is usually some old OG, some veterano that's doing that. Not somebody in their age. Because it wouldn't be illegal if somebody's a teenage dude doing that. But when it's a grown ass, I'm sorry, because I get heated with this stuff. When it's a grown man and it's a teenage girl, she went on Charlie Girl Shanja. Yes. And when they find out they're doing that, that's when they lock them up. And actually, there's a lot of disease. When I went to, it was one of the Catholic apologetics dude was coming to St. Pius Church, talk about the Catholic Church. It's biblical, right? And me and my Chicano friend from LA, he's kind of child dude. We went to go together to to listen to this man talk about the Bible in the Catholic Church, right? At St. Pius Catholic Church. And so this white lady, she said, I need a petition because there's a lot of porn in El Paso. It is a lot of porn. And a lot of strip clubs and porn. And she said a lot of people are catching diseases behind. Yeah, that is very true. A lot of people catching diseases there because of the pornography. Because what happened is when they start putting the houses in the strip club area, that's why. No, but I wouldn't stereotype because no, I wouldn't stereotype Latino men. We have brothers like that too. We have brothers in our community who are no different than those Latino men that are predators. I'm sorry, he line. I get tired of hearing that because besides R. Kelly, there are dudes that I know. When I was in school, one of the sisters I talked to later on, okay, we was elementary school. She January 79, I'm August, right? Okay. We was in the middle school. And of course, when she turned 13, she like a grown woman, she wore them sexy outfits when she off of school. And one of the brothers in our neighborhood was 22 years old. And we thought it was a rumor that she was messing with this army brother. He was a military brother. This dude, after I went to my white friend's birthday party that Saturday, me and my cousin and my aunt, we went to the Ferris wheel. We call it the fair. Yeah, the fair. Okay, in east side of Harris County. And my the homegirl I dated later on, was Emmy's. She was with that grown man, that grown brother. I'll never forget her playing Love and Never Do Without You by Janet Jackson, because they played Janet Jackson's whole CD, Ram Nation. I'll never forget. And I got sick on one of those because I ate, and I about to want to throw up. I had that feeling want to throw up. And I said, told my aunt, please let's go home. I don't want to eat because we already ate and had cake at the skate ring with my white friends, fake white friends, birthday party back in 1992. I'll forget this. And she was there and she was dressed a little sexy, 13-year-old, because she turned 30 before I did. And he was holding hands with her. I said, what? He was 22 years old. He has graduated high school like a couple years. He was offered to the military. He was talking to her. Yeah. So, and I knew one of my other homegirls. I never thought she bought my complexion. She graduated in 1997. So did. And she got pregnant. I know her baby daddy. This dark skinned dude, he was in high school in 89. So he older than her, way older than her. He showed me pictures of one of the white girls who talked to back at 8 before I turned 10. I'll never forget that. And I never thought that the girl she got pregnant with this grown man. She wasn't even 18 yet. So I know people who ADOS who had baby daddies who are not of their age. So I hate when people start saying Latino men are known like what the SPM situation, but we have dudes in our community who are doing the same doggone thing and got women. Because I know a brother that's by my aunt's age, and he has children. He had children by my show. They had children my age because he was young, and he had ran away or something with his older sister back in the 70s, and she had sex with him. That's how he has children. That's close to my age when I was 19 years old. I was shocked. You barely close to 30. Yeah, he was a teenage father, but his baby mama was a grown woman. And I said, so I was like, I was 19. I said, dang, you had an older woman? Because I was trying to get out of my grandparents' house. So, I wanted an older woman to get married to. Okay. Like, kidnap me. I just had a little fence to kidnap me and get married, to get away from my toxic grandparents, right? Like, so I said, what? I said, you had what? He said, yeah, but she tried to poison me. I said, what? Yeah. And lucky she didn't go to jail. It's an old sister. Got this bright-skinned brother. When he was young, in the 70s and 80s, teenager, and she had children by him, and she tried to poison him. So we got that in our community too. We sure do. And I actually knew Afro Latino, he Virgin Island. People, there's Spanish-speaking people in the Virgin Islands too. So he was a dark-skinned brother, long hair. He had long ponytail, dark skin. We worked on a set at Terrence Hall movie. We played Muhammad Ali. It's NRG now, but it was Astro Hall back in December 1999 before New Millennium. And I got to pick up my son, and he's 16 years old. And I'm like, you better in your 20, 30, you know what I'm saying? He said, yeah. He said, I had an older woman when I was young. And I'll never forget because he said he'll give me a ride back home because we had to stay on the set like after hours. I ride the bus, so I had to get a taxi to take me home. Okay. And I like, dude, I need a ride back home because I want my grandparents get all worried. And I was 20 years old. And so we was arguing like in Spanish. And I'm not lying because I was speaking Spanish. Now, I was in Spain at the time. I had Spanish rules. So we were, and all these Mexican girls were looking at us because he dark skinned with long hair and a ponytail, you know what I'm saying? And we I never forget that too at the alcohol. Anyway, so he told me the similar situation. He said the old school sister had got pregnant and they had a child. She like kidnapped him or something. Yeah. So, and she was ADOS. She wasn't no Caribbean or either Latino. She was ADOS, FBA, we gonna call it. So we got that in our community. I just get tired of hearing that it's always the outside. No, because a lot of ADOS people who are victims of sexual abuse do not get no help because of the stereotype. Like what happened with R. Kelly. You have plenty of people still fans of R. Kelly after he did all that evil stuff to them women and girls and boys. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was one of the stereotypes. Oh, it ain't one of us. It's some other people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, and I remember one church Protestant sister at Macy's who like to preach to me when I get mad about them bully bosses at Macy's. I hate when people preach to me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to bring religion. I'm not Protestant. Even I'm not acting Christ-like, but if I have a right to get upset when it's bully boss on the job. I was doing Christmas season 2015. The sister said, yeah, I like R. Kelly. We know many of us make mistakes. I'm like, yeah, but it's funny if I mention I was Catholic. Oh, the sex scandal. Okay, well, not all priests are sex offenders. But y'all gonna defend R. Kelly. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So, because sex goes in all religions. So my thing is that I started here. I said, like, don't ever preach to me again. In my head saying, like, don't come. I used to pray to, like, God, get this woman first when I'm saying religion as she is. And second of all, she over here defending the man is guilty of what he did. So we have that in our community. We have a professor. What's his name? Brother Polite. He not no Caribbean. He Adolphs. He did a Hispanic woman. It was Hispanic girl. He molested a Hispanic girl. Sure did. We got that in our community, and we need to call it out because while we got victims, and I hear this a lot, the slave plantation mentality would tell, well, I went through it, and the slave mentality, you can go through it too. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality we got. So when we say stories that the other communities have that, no, you stereotyping, and two, it's no difference that all African men are thugs and dusty. You know what I'm saying? There's no difference. So I don't like it when people say Hispanic men who are Mexican and Central America are a bunch of pale. That's wrong because not all Hispanic. If that was the case, even though South Park Mexican is innocent, you would have people defending if he was guilty. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, because that's not true. And you're more like them than I am. I'm Hispanic from Louisiana, but you're Latin American Hispanic. You don't condone that, right?
No, we don't.
Done.
I mean,
right.
I mean, if you actually look at it, like there's certain people that I've seen. I'm not gonna go around and put my business out there, but yet you have certain people who I know that they're, that they're on that registry. And I stopped talking to them when I found out that they're on that registry because at the end of the day, I don't respect them, and that's all. And that's all I got to say. So
I be looking too on registry, and I found some people I know, even my family friends I know that was on registry. And I tell my dad, I said, you know that dude? What?
Yo,
he said, yeah.
Shout out, bro. How you doing?
What's up, homie? That's Lucas. I know Lucas.
Yeah, I see you.
He coming up.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought I was muted or something.
I'm waiting for him to come up because it's.
How's everybody tonight?
Yeah, we're good because it was just getting interesting because there's another guy, another racist troll that we were talking about by the name of OG Rancho, and it showed that this guy is he's on that registry.
What's his name again?
OG Rancho.
Rancho?
He is.
Yeah.
That name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, he's a West Coast.
Kidding?
He's a West Coast racist.
I'm not surprised. I was all for the whole pro Latino thing and stuff, but at the same time, it's like when you think about it, everyone can huh?
Is he on the register for real?
No, I'm just saying that, but I'm just saying like certain people who if they're gonna be doing all that, they might as well be. No, but I'm just saying that. But I'm just saying like but I was saying that as far as those concerned, I was talking to Lucas the other day when we was on TikTok, and he put me on a video with the fake Dominican conqueror was saying, and he was talking about certain people's like, oh yeah, your people was they were wearing leaves and stuff around their private parts.
Wearing leaves on our private parts. That's the most disgraceful thing I've ever heard coming out of someone's mouth in a long time. What? I haven't heard that shit since I went to one of my private schools in high school. That's crazy as hell.
The conqueror still worrying about that type of stuff. Oh, okay, I'm having internet trouble, so it might cut me off. Hold on.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I'm gonna come back on. I'm gonna come off, but if I'm talking and it cut off, I'm gonna come back on because acting a fool. Joe Biden, stop playing around, Joe Biden, with my internet. Anyway, as I was saying, no, but the stalker did expose some people besides the dude from Houston, the mixed dude from Houston that I do not want to meet. I'm glad, like I said on my podcast, I'm glad that dude from the Golden Spirit we not become friends. Because I found him, before that he came out and he was drunk and he was in a demonic. No offense to Islam warrior, he was in a demonic, and because he listened to the prophet of doom. Remember he was saying that there's a brother that do witchcraft and stuff on YouTube. He a witch, and
Right.
he was drunk, so all them demonic spirits come in. He admit that he wanted to do something to Black Skin Mason's daughter. Before that, even though we had a beat, we didn't have a beat then. I was like, another mixed brother, that small generation mixed Creole, my age. I like, okay, that's we gotta be cool. We ain't had no beat. I said I need to meet someone because the reason I get so extreme, I do meet people with my mindset, but not a lot. Okay. So until that came out and he said what he said, I said, I thank you, Jesus, that he and I are not friends, because I cannot be friends with someone like that. Imagine if, even though I'm not golden, as he said, let's say he was not judgmental about my multiracial identity and my phenotype, and we were cool, and I got kids. Let's say if I had kids, I don't want them coming at me and say such and such touched it. My record clean. I'm not trying to be on death row. I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to go to death row. I'm not trying to be at Huntsville. Okay, that's what the penitentiary is in Texas. I'm not trying to be in the Harris County jail. Because as soon as I hear that, God help me. That evil part of me might come out. I'm bipolar, and I'm gonna have to be on 5 o'clock news. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So Lucas, you back on?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right. So yeah, when you actually sent me that hilariously disgraceful video,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this guy's a total douchebag, because first of all, this is one thing I'm just gonna say. We all have Spanish blood in here, all three of us, right?
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
we do.
Okay, so where does this guy comes off as he's a conqueror, when the fact is, if that person were to go to Spain, right,
Mhm.
so quote unquote the motherland,
Mhm.
he would actually be thrown and spit on. So
Yeah. Nine
my
times out of
thing
10, you
is
would.
this: where is this pro Spain attitudes coming from? Because I know people, like within the Spanish community, they talk about Spain or whatever, but not to the extent of these weirdos. So
Yeah, they're more Spanish
Zacharias,
than Spaniards themselves.
where I want to hear your insight on where these guys come from with that pro Spain nonsense.
I think it all dwells from like a colonial past, when they took over Latin America. And so he's trying to, because he's a majority Spanish, as he claims, which I believe him, and I know he's a slightly mixed, just like all of us here. Is that he's trying to repeat that behavior. Like you said before, he's trying to repeat United States white supremacist rhetoric, but he's trying to be slick about it. And at first, for like months, I was like, okay, I can see where he's going with this at first, because I thought it was like, okay, Latino empowerment. And I was like, okay, well, I guess everyone in the whole Latino community, in Latin America, or if you're in the United States, can take on the identity, and also claim identity if you're predominantly African, like all of us here. I'm guessing most of us here are predominantly African, like myself. I'm over like 70%. So we can claim that, or we can claim the European Latino, but I mean without all the labels, So why put all the labels there as Afro Latino, Euro Latino, when we can all be called Latino? So that's why I thought he was pushing. I was like, okay, that's cool. I can dig that. It's different. But as soon as he started to make certain comments about Black people and and whatnot, and he's over here sticking up for being Taino and more so Spanish blood, I'm like, dude, what type of sick mind do you have? What are your intentions? So now I just had a comment on that last video that I had sent you of him, where he was making that remark about the leaves in Africa, and I was just like so confused. I'm like, no, I on the comment, I'm just like leaving a mark. I said, what did I say again? I said, I see where you're going with this and stuff, and you can see the comments backing him up. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I said, all right, I'm done.
Well, this guy, he actually made a video of when me and him had an argument,
Yeah.
and he was saying disrespectful things towards my wife.
Yeah.
So I went up and I seen him in person. He's a punk, and and he claims that he is the representation of Washington Heights. Let's be for real. Nobody in Washington Heights knows you.
And he also said that he was a king of Hispanics. Was on Fire Complex channel back on New Year's Eve when the stalker took my video, to that video. Yeah, he said, I'm the king of Hispanics. I said, you're a king. Remember, I said, you're a king.
That's weak as fuck.
Okay. So let's put it like this. I know that there's certain people that they have deposed kingdoms. You know, the kingdom in Ethiopia. You know, people who are still part of the Romanov family, even though they don't rule Russia anymore. The Shah of Iran's family that actually lives in Los Angeles, and people who are actually kings and queens and exiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why is that a man saying that he has no royal or political connection to Spain? Because let's be for real, if we were actually of royal blood, we actually could say we have claims to certain places on the Spanish throne, which we don't. So how a guy who's saying that he's the face of all Hispanics, but yet this guy speaks ignorant, and his context about history is a little bit distorted. He actually distorts history and trying to call
revisionist
Black Dominicans Haitians, when the fact is that if people read their history, it was Fray Bartolomé de las Casas that actually wrote the letter to Spain to bring Africans to the New World, because he saw that the Spaniards were actually killing and maiming the local Taino population in the Caribbean and in the Americas. So, with that said, how this guy comes along and try to distort Dominican history to his benefit?
That's why I
That's
said
what I don't like.
he's a hidden white supremacist. He's just trying to code it. That's it. That's it. Am I wrong?
I mean, yeah. No, you're not. Because when it was the Dominican parade, and I will never forget this. It was me and everybody who was Dominican, we was chilling, vibing, and everything like that. It was the Dominican parade, and people we were talking respectfully. Out of everybody who's vibing and stuff, you saw the real Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? The people who were light skinned, people who were dark skinned. Everybody was just vibing.
Right.
Out of everybody who's vibing, who was the person that was looking scared when everybody was together?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I was at the Dominican parade to see that.
Hey, come through to visit in August, bro.
That's my birthday. I'll be 44 this year in August. Now hold on. The GOAT went to the Dominican parade years ago though. The GOAT.
Yeah, but the GOAT don't count, because if you actually look at it, the GOAT, nobody knows him either, except for that rant that he made in 2021, and he sounds like 220. Okay, so
20. Yeah, I was on 2020. I saw that.
Therefore, when he got famous and then fled to the Dominican Republic, if he ever went to the Dominican parade or anything like that, there'll be a whole sea. So therefore, he will not even stand out. Just like me, nobody's gonna know. Like, hey, that's you. You get what I'm trying to say? Because everybody's looking at the parade.
There was in 2018 when he went there. No, I mean, I have to cut you off, Don Armando. He filmed it when I was on YouTube. He filmed it on 2018, right? Yeah, during August, he was walking the American Parade, talking about the GOAT.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, I was there
yeah.
in 2018, so therefore, who cares?
He wasn't famous then. He got famous in 2020 when COVID hit at the George Floyd. Get those, yeah. Protect your neighborhood. I forget.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
me personally, I went up and when I had my interview with, and there were certain parts that was cut out. I actually went up and I said in the interview of people who were trying to say that was a fake Dominican. There was a part that I actually called these guys out as traitors because the only thing that they're doing, they will love to talk a good game. They're like snake oil salesmen. They'll talk a good game, but when it comes time for an actual war or to actually defend your people, these guys will not be equipped.
They would just you out.
They're white supremacists. Like
Exactly.
they white, and they want to be white. But I would love them to come down south and actually meet our white kinfolks or Anglo-Saxons who hate us. I ain't saying all white people, but ones who clan people in them sundown towns and see how they get treated.
Oh
I
yeah.
It's gonna
mean,
be it'll
I
be
mean, if
build
you
a
actually
wall.
look at it, these guys who call themselves the Proud Boys, right? The Cuban guy
Mm-hmm.
who was revealed to be a snitch, and the way that he talks, you can
You know.
actually see that he talks articulate. But me personally,
Mm-hmm.
if this guy is still in the Proud Boys, he was the one that got arrested before January 6th. Something's up.
Mm-hmm. No, but they're using people of color to infiltrate. Remember, there's a light skinned chick on TikTok. Everybody thinks she's Latina, but she's ADOS. And she's supposed a Puerto Rican dude in Chicago was saying that he part of KKK.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Yeah, yeah. And so they using people that say mixed. So when she said mixed, black, and all that, I looked at the people from Ohio, him, and certain people on YouTube. Cause I mean that explains. Cause remember on Young Turks, they said the KKK was accepting blacks, Hispanic, gays, and all that. Remember on Young Turks. I'm not lying. They said the KKK is accepting. So they're getting people before Trump, way before Trump. And you're like, huh? Well, there are people who are doing what they're the workers of this one thing. Gotta change subject. As Lucas from Texas too. You forgot that white supremacists use Mexican soldiers to fight for the Alamo, right? And also Ackman sent it both mixed and pure, slave and then free to fight against Santa Anna, right? And that's how they stole Texas from Mexico, right? That's how white supremacists work. They use people of color to, of course, they're not gonna be part of the Klan, but they infiltrators of the Klan, like the Nation of Islam paid by the Klan. You know what I'm saying? So they're using people of color to further their agenda, like Diamond and so maybe Candace Owens. I mean, I was shocked the white supremacist that shot up in New Zealand. He loved him some Candace Owens, but he a white supremacist, you know. And well, in history, white men love women of color, not love or either violated or either had no problem messing with women of color. It came to white women, men of color, especially African men, they had an issue. But when it came to sisters, you know, Asian, Native, they didn't, or Arab, they didn't mind. You know what I'm saying? So that makes a whole lot of sense. But no, remember that killing down the mass shooting in New Zealand in the white supremacists was in this is not United
Yeah.
States. He mentioned Candace Owens like he liked her, and she's a sister. So now I see they using people of color to further their agenda. If they and that's what I see here on YouTube. What happened to me with the food from Cleveland and certain people are the golden spit. I said, I ain't say all. Certain people are the spoon tips. No offense, your friend. No offense. I'm looking at him with a side eye. Talking about the Ecuadorian Dominican dude. Yeah, they're getting money by Trump and white supremacists to further their agenda. And also, I go ahead and throw what's name on the bus. Something skin amazing. I can't get a word in with him. Remember trying to go on his live show, I get interrupted a lot. That's why I have to interrupt people on Black Skin Amazing. And culture is not going to help. But look, that's JJ's girlfriend. And culture is just using accuracy and people go against Hispanics. I'm surprised to reach Michelle would be shot. He paid by the Trump and Klan people because they need people of color to further. Since we got a diverse crowd now, whites are minority. They need somebody of color to further their agenda. Stacey Dash, who's Black American and Caribbean and Mexican, she got thrown on the bus after he'd been used. So the twins, the Hodge twins, they were pro-black. Remember that? Them light-skinned green-eyed brothers, the Hodge twins.
Right.
And soon as Trump won, they started cooning.
What?
I never thought them two high-yellow green-eyed brothers would do that. I never thought that. It was a switch. When the 2010s, dude was pro-black. I may be big or something, but I'm black. Everything Black Lives Matter, blackity black. Trump getting office, they turned a switch. I said, are these them two high yellow brothers that were pro-black? Nah, they are Republican. They changed their accent. Who else?
You talking about those two
Cynthia G, her too. Remember, she ain't like white people. Now she putting white men on a pedestal. She the Vestal.
Wait, let me ask you something.
Yeah. So now they getting paid. They got white supremacists paying these folks. And I saw those on bus too, a Vice show. You telling us to come down south. They're trying to pass Jim Crow laws.
Well, I heard that. There was I don't know what it was. I didn't read the article. I just skimmed by it. They're saying that they want to pass Jim Crow's laws, and I heard a white guy saying that he wants to start hanging people by trees again.
They can't do that. There's state laws that Nixon, was about here in the South, but it has to match with the Constitution. Lynching somebody is against the Constitution. Discriminating against somebody based on race is against the Constitution. So they can't do that. It's unconstitutional. What I noticed that in Mississippi is a lot of uneducated people there, not just the white people. I'm talking about the Atkinson people too. Not because they're uneducated. And I say everybody, there are educated people in Jackson, okay? But the southern states make sure, and I'm from Texas, that you have a dumb education. All the stuff I talk about, the mixed identity and heritage, I learned this outside of school. No one in my high school or middle school taught this stuff. I taught myself. I had to go to the library and read the mixed history and all the other stuff and who was this and that. People shot that like, Zach, how you know about the Afro-Mexican? I learned it and going to the library downtown as a kid in middle school and high school back in the 90s because they wouldn't teach that in school. They taught us a fake history about Mexican American history, African American history, and I used to hate that watered down fake history during the Black history in Cinco de Mayo. Okay, so when that white man said in Austin, and I'm shocked, Austin would be a liberal part of Texas, said, yes, I think my race is superior. When I laughed, of course I laughed. Like, y'all shot? They didn't tell us that back in the 80s, but we saw the actions. Because my school was predominantly white in the 80s. And then when the Hispanics, Latinos came in, mostly Mexican, it became most Latino and white folks left. So even though white folks left, they still had a watered down Black history and Latino and Native and nothing by mixing. Like people didn't teach that Fred Douglass had a white daddy. You know what I'm saying? Or Booker T had a white daddy. They didn't teach that in school. I learned it later on. People think Harriet Tubman was pure black. She looked pure black, but her mom was mulatto. A lot of folks don't know that. Her mother was mixed. Yeah, her mom was mixed. Okay, her dad was pure black from Africa. Harriet Tubman. So they don't teach that in school. Like Crispin Attucks, my cousin had a coloring book about Black history, and I love how our people, like back in the day, would tell you this purple part Indian. You know what I'm saying? The white people will say they was a full-blown black person. You know what I'm saying? But no, we would say they were part Indian. Their grandma. You know what I'm saying? So, and my cousin, born 88, he had a coloring book. And in that coloring book, it had that Crispin Attucks. Remember, yesterday was the day of him getting shot in the Revolution. Mom was Native American and dad was black. And I said, what? In Revolution War, one of them got shot. The first one got shot was a black Native American biracial man. And I was sitting there like, what? This is a children's book. But I happened to see it was Black history. I happened to go through it and I'm like, what? They actually tell it like it is. And we had a little pamphlets of Black history. And it would tell you this person was part this, you know what I'm saying? They had this in them, you know what I'm saying? But in a white school, oh, it's a black man. Yeah, I'm like, they didn't go in detail. So this is the 1990s. They didn't teach that in school. So when we hear that white men saying this is someone superior, I'm like, y'all late. Because when they didn't teach our history in school the right way, and you had African people, Latino who are staff just going along with the doggone program. I'm like, you were like, that's not true. You in your head, like, I wish I could say something, but I want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they didn't teach that in school. And only one time I heard the one drop rule, and I do think the man's passing. Should I say anything?
Yeah,
well,
so
he Cajun, but I think he Creole. Okay, his wife became the principal later on, but it was teachers, and he's from Louisiana. He told us in 11th grade about the one drop rule. It was the first time he heard someone talk about the one drop rule in school.
yes, I learned about the one drop rule later on,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like when I started researching certain stuff by myself in my 20s, I was like, wow.
Yeah, a lot of Afro Latinos, like I was, don't know about the one drop rule until I have a friend that's older than me. His dad, African American, mixed with something else. His dad died. He a priest now. I'm talking about my friend. He Cuban. His mom was Cuban. So this dude, like born late 70s. No, late 60s. And before he became a priest, one drop rule. I said, you don't know about one drop rule? You older than I am. You from Texas? If you had any drop of black and you black, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I said, because he didn't understand how African Americans, like he hang around most Latinos. Like you think, it's a black dude, and like he's Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? So he's darker than me with curly hair. And no one has kinky hair in his family, even though there's people that's darker than me. You know what I'm saying? In his family, he's darker than me. And he had family members who Cuban who passed as white. The ones who look more black with loose curly hair, they live as black. The ones who mix, who look like white folks, they pass as white in society. He talked about it from Cuba, and he did not. I said, "You older than me. You was a teacher." We taught catechism at one of the Catholic churches, and also King Sierra. I said, "You don't know about the one drop rule. You're older than me." And I said, I got to teach you some more about your African American history since you part African American. He said, well, the reason why I don't know, because my mom raised me. My dad died when I was a baby. So I don't know anything about, I hear about Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks and Martha King. They don't go in detail, but yes, because the first time I met him, I was coming from confession, right? It was in 2010, Saturday. And I always go to Latino with Puerto Rico or Cuba. It is a Cuba. I used to do that a lot. It is a Mexico. So he come on a bus. I said, "Eres cubano?"
Yo,
He started laughing.
talking about that, right? I'm just reading
Right.
on Wikipedia that there was a I guess a certain people who called themselves the Ben Ishmael tribe. And they said
I didn't know that.
this is what it says on Wikipedia. The names Ben Ishmael tribe or the tribe of Ishmael were applied to poor upland southern residents of Indianapolis, Indiana during the late 19th century because of their supposed association with the Ishmael family. Records of the Ishmael family shows they originally hailed from Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, and that his patriarch, Benjamin Ishmael, served in the American Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. So it looks like that there was a whole bunch of, I guess in what we would consider white today, there was a whole bunch of so-called ethnic groups until they actually put it into one.
Right.
And they say the Dominickers of Holmes County in the Florida Panhandle, and the Nanticoke Moors, and in Maryland. Wow. Louisiana, Red Bones.
Yep. The triracial.
Maryland's Piscataway Indian Nation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rampo Mountain Indians. Then in North Carolina is the Coree, Halawa Saponi,
Lumbee. That's what Hell Lockley is.
Right. And the Person County Indians.
Mm-hmm. And Lumbees are mixed.
Right.
If you meet in North Carolina, like one brother told me, they not no Indian, they black and white men. I say, yeah, but back in the day, they started mixing black and white people. And Hell Lockley is a Melungeon, just like Elvis is mixed with black. She the Melungeon and Lumbee. Like when they said that the Lincoln's the first black president, he's Melungeon.
Right.
Tom Hanks, George Clooney, Evan Goddard, Steve Martin. It's funny because he played that movie. Remember, they said "Don't Trust Whitey." Remember that old movie in the Black Family? He was the only white-looking person there, and remember the man said, "We go, don't trust Whitey." Remember? And when I saw his name was a Melungeon having black and Native American, I said, I now see why he played that role. Steve Martin. Yeah, Tom Hanks. You can tell by the curly hair, he got some black in him. I don't like George Clooney. George Clooney is a racist. Because you know that Vanessa Marquez, the Mexican American woman that they said that he was the molesting, was abusing her and stuff and being racist towards her on ER. Remember, the police department killed her. She's like a Latina Sandra Bland. They say it was a setup. The 19 Clooney was behind it. They also the gay marriage bill. Remember, Obama was against the gay marriage, right? Until he had that meeting with George Clooney. That's when he legalized it a year later. Yep. I think George Clooney, he not besides him being a race, I think he a Satanist. But yeah, he a Melungeon. You can tell because there are white men they have some tan, but that dude has a tan. Like you can tell he not no full blown white man. You know, he got something in him. So when I saw his name as Melungeon, I said, yeah, because he related to Tom Hanks. Because Tom Hanks is related to Abraham Lincoln Melungeon mama side. She's a Hanks and Hanks. She passed as white and married a white man. She was a Melungeon too. She was triracial too. Oh, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp mixed with black too. And one of his eighth grandmother, I believe, was she Elizabeth something. She was a mulatto. She sued her master. Golden Goddess to talk about that. I see you stole my idea because I talked about that. Remember the whole Amber Heard thing? Is Amber Heard? Yeah. I'm sorry, I took her side later on. At first, I was on Johnny Depp's side until I did some research. First of all, he had used the N-word before. He performed with Patti Smith, Rock and Roll N-Word. Okay, I can't stand Patti Smith. He lost in England. So, and then when I found out both of them were witches and Satanists, because he's friends with Marilyn Manson, I bought that book. And remember, Shorty Womp Womp, or Lashie's friend, me and her got into over this thing. I wasn't getting involved on satanic situation. I was reading about his association with it for educational purpose.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I read that book, him and Marilyn Manson, yeah, because Marilyn Manson saying this was like Travis Scott. That's Marilyn Manson friend too. I said, yeah, Amber is not lying. And Amber, he used witchcraft to get that trial on his side in America. Because everybody look at the old Johnny Depp on 21 Drum Street. You know what I'm saying? You know, the dark hair, you don't know what his race is. He part Cherokee, and people later on know he's part black too. You know, the somehow passed as white, you know what I'm saying? That was the heartthrob. But no, at Sister Hand, the dude got demonic. Like, he started looking evil. I mean, you can see, and then Johnny Depp, remember them 3 white men that killed them white boys that were molested and killed for Santana? He defended them.
Wow.
The book spoke. I said, Amber ain't lying. Amber Heard, she ain't lying. She not lying. She not lying. She not lying.
All right.
I saw
Zacharias, I'm about to wrap it up because I got to go to work. So you have any last words to say?
No, sir.
I hear that. So, you know, with that said, I'm just gonna close it out. It's been a good topic. We're gonna come back tomorrow. So therefore, stay tuned, people.
All right.
Yeah.
Adios.
Adios.